Hey guys, Bear here. Welcome back to Pickleball Kitchen. Today we're focusing on that one thing in pickleball that we all have trouble with, all of us. And it's something that if you get mixed up too often, you're gonna start losing and things are gonna fall apart. We're talking about footwork. You know what? Let's just get right into it. Let's get started. One thing that I recommend doing just to get started with here is to start with cross-court forehand dinking. It's a great way to practice your footwork in a very controlled manner. So we're just going to do some dinking back and forth, and I want you to notice what I do with my feet every single time I get done striking the ball. I'll hit the ball and then I'll come back to where I was. Okay, this is basically a footwork reset. That's the key here. So every time I hit the ball, I'm going back to where I was and I'm getting reset into a proper position. Okay, so just watch carefully. Okay, ready, strike the ball, come back. Strike the ball, come back. Notice how in control I am of every single one of these shots. This is a great little drill to do. And it's very, very basic. It's what's going to get you started. Now, I want to give you a little bit of a story here that's going to help explain this next thing. When I was like maybe 6 or 7 years old, I would travel around with my mom a lot around Dallas, you know, because I had two older siblings. And every now and then we would go to this mall called North Park here in Dallas. And there was this candy store inside the mall. And whenever I would go in there, I remember it was like the walls were white and silver, and there was just candy everywhere in these big plastic tubes. It was the coolest thing ever. And when I would go in, I would go like that and just be amazed, right? In complete awe, complete shock and awe, right? Unfortunately, this is the same reaction that people do when they hit the ball in pickleball. They hit the ball and they stand there like this and watch it like that. That is killing you, okay? Let me show you what this looks like. This is what people do. They'll hit the ball and they'll stand there like this because they're watching and they're curious what's gonna happen, right? It's like, oh boy, is that gonna go in? They're sort of nervous, sort of timid. When you strike that ball, you are no longer in control. The ball is in their court, literally and figuratively. Please remember this. The moment you strike the ball, okay? So hit the ball and I'm just not worried what's gonna happen. Hit the ball, not worried about it. And I'm gonna focus on that footwork and focus on that reset, because believe it or not, how good your shot is going to be is partially dependent on how good your footwork's gonna be, okay? That's how you can get started with this. Start with those basic footwork resets. Don't candy shop. Don't sit there in awe at your shot, okay? But if you want to go do a little bit more advanced footwork, this is what we can do to get started. Now we're going to do a little bit of split stepping. So one thing that's very important when you're coming into the kitchen is to make sure that you're slowing down on your way. Okay, so let me just kind of give you a general look of what this feels like here. Okay, now that was super exaggerated, but that's the point. I want to really show you what this looks like. Every single time I make that little maneuver, I'm slowing down and I'm getting ready for the shot. Now, this is really advanced stuff. This whole thing about coming into the kitchen, I've done videos about that, but what I'm doing is I'm paying attention to what Linda is doing and I'm judging the height of the ball and what kind of drives can come over on my side, okay? So again, let me show you. So hit the ball, and I'm just giving that little reset. And effectively, it's the same thing that we did with the dinking, but it's a little bit more aggressive, I guess you could say, because I'm moving a little bit quicker, right? So cool, and this is just a really great way to get into a balanced state. I want to show you a little quick drill that you can do here. And this is a great drill that you can do regardless, but it really helps with footwork. The first thing you're going to do is just be stationary here. Your partner will be at the kitchen line and they're just going to feed you shots here, but you're just going to stay here and really focus on resetting that footwork each and every single time. This is great for practicing your transition zone dinks and coming forward, okay? I'm hitting these a little high, So I need to just be a little bit softer, reset the footwork. Awesome. Now when you're ready, begin to move horizontally to the left here, and then keep hitting those dinks cross court, but keep moving to the left and then getting back into position. Okay, and then when you're ready, start moving over back to the right. This is great for distance control because the distance here is shorter than over here, so we have to not only practice footwork but practice our depth as well. And that one was out, but you get the point. So do that horizontal back and forth, and you can also do the classic forwards and backwards. We've seen that a billion times. But split stepping is not the only thing. We actually need to prep for the shot. You guys have heard it a billion times. Feet first, swing later. You gotta move your feet first and foremost. That is the key to all of this stuff, okay? So I want you to watch. I'm gonna have Linda feed me a shot. I want you to watch my feet. Notice how I had my feet moving before I swung at that shot. Feet first, swing later. It will change your game completely. Sweet. It's really quite simple. You just have to convince yourself to do it. You kind of have to force yourself a little bit. Cool. Notice how I'm not really taking any kind of frantic steps here. I'm taking long, controlled strides that are both confident but calm at the same time. I'm not doing these little skittery kinds of things here. I'm using large strides. Okay? Just like that. If you begin to do these things, you begin to do the footwork resets, you begin to do a little bit more split stepping, focus more on your footwork, on your feet, on how balanced you are, it will change the way that you strike the ball. It's very common for when people play singles pickleball, or maybe even doubles pickleball, that their game kind of falls apart as the session goes on. And oftentimes it's because our legs are gone, right? And when your legs go, your footwork goes as well. Okay? So again, get lined up and strike through the ball and be in that balanced state. Guys, I hope this was helpful. This is a great way to really practice your skills in pickleball. When you have the right kind of footwork, everything else begins to fall in line. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.